Hello. Oh, sorry, I'm a little gassy from lunch. I'm full of secrets. I've been sworn to secrecy about many things, but I'm horrible at keeping secrets. This is all Prada. Prada, Prada, Prada.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching Profile. I'm thrilled to be here with the one and only Jeff Goldblum. His latest film is The Mountain. Welcome to the show, Mr. Goldblum.
Ashley, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
This is going to be fantastic. Hey, I'm just letting you know that hand is spoken for.
I know this, Kelly. Kelly's right there. Within...
Jeff, you've got a new film coming out. You've got new music coming out. But first, my priority, I have to know, is the Grandmaster going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder?
Taika Waititi is directing it.
Yes, he is.
Whom I love so much.
So do I.
He directed the last one, Thor Ragnarok. I can't say, I'm not at liberty to divulge publicly anything about that, but I hope so.
Oh, I hope so.
Taika is fantastic. I had a great time doing that. And all those people, Kevin Feige and Louis D'Esposito, they're all spectacular.
Yes.
Gee, they're good.
You're also reprising the role of Grandmaster. I know this for the Marvel series, What If? That's going to be happening, right? That's what I heard.
What's that?
Do you have any personal history with Marvel? Like, did you grow up on comic books? No?
No, not really. No, I read the funny papers, and I, used to read Dick Tracy and, Blondie and Nancy, and then I had a couple of comic books like Archie comic books. I used to get the bubble gum and open up something. And then when I was a teenager, I liked R. Crumb comics.
I want to know, are you ever going to get back into TV? Or is there like a series that you would be interested in?
I'm doing one right now.
Which one?
I have a series that I'm shooting a couple of days ago. All this summer I've been shooting, and I'm going to be shooting for the rest of the summer, and then a week in September, called, it's called The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
Talk to me about that, Jeff Goldblum.
Well, it's on, the National Geographic people are doing it, and it's going to be a Disney streaming service that they're putting out for the first time. Believe it or not, I think we have a launch date for it, which is November 11th. Yes, November 11th.
The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, and there are 12 episodes that are coming out, and I like it. Yes, I'm having a great summer. I like it already. I've seen a couple episodes that are kind of mostly put together. I'm doing voiceovers for it. We're going every place. They send me out all over the country to meet interesting people and talk to them, have my own kind of unique experience with them, and it's all improvised, and then I talk to the camera, and I say hello, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I do a lot of talking, then I give them raw material galore, and then they cut it up,
That.
But I like it very much. I'm having the summer of my life. It's a summer excursion. It's like a camp. So we have episodes. It's all about familiar things like ice cream and denim and RVs and jewelry and things like that. So, but I go out. I went to Vermont and talked to Ben and Jerry. Ben and Jerry. Yeah, and we ate ice cream together, and then there's science and smart stuff about it, too.
Is there going to be a Jeff Goldblum ice cream?
That's funny. You must be psychic. You're very gifted. I went to that. I don't want to give anything away, but I went with Tyler Malick, who is the creative genius behind Salt and Straw. Do you know Salt and Straw?
Yes.
They have them here. They have a couple in L.A. too. It's artisanal. It's only small, but we went out in where he lives in the Pacific Northwest. And Oregon, I think it was in Oregon, and we went to the forest, deep forest, and foraged for edible things. Did.
And you found edible things?
And we found them, and we chose which ones we wanted to put in a Goldblum flavored ice cream.
Oh my
And we did. And then we made it with him and in his place. And then we took it someplace. I shouldn't spoil the whole thing because we took it someplace surprising and tried it out on some interesting people. Yeah.
All right. I'm looking. I can't wait to find out more. I'm very, very much looking forward to that.
Good.
Now, you've been having the summer of your life traveling all around making this show.
Yeah, doing that.
Doing this and that.
Record and doing promotion for this and kids,
There's
then going
so
home
much.
and seeing my couple of kids. Yeah.
There's so much. The movie that you're coming out with, The Mountain, which is also interesting because you play a doctor who performs lobotomies and who is traveling around with a young man whose mother, my apologies, has been institutionalized.
Yes.
We have a clip. Watch this.
My grandfather, a brilliant man of great stamina, longevity. He was the first American surgeon to remove a brain tumor. It's absolutely true. He did it with his fingers. I'm not kidding. And this is before the advent of X-rays, and he did it in an operating theater without electric light. He's still alive. Can you imagine? My grandfather. And you know what? That's him right there. Grandpa. Grampy? Grampy! Oh, Grampy. Oh, it's so sad. You still gotta work. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Now, the director, I've seen it. The director, Rick Alverson, said that audiences might find it a little frustrating because it's like a little slower pace, and specifically American audiences might, but it's beautiful. It is a beautiful film. So. What drew you to that role?
Oh, I love it. Look at that. What you just saw there. You saw the young fellow there with whom I take a road trip in this movie, in the Pacific Northwest, as a matter of fact. It's 1954, but you saw the way it looks. You saw the beautiful, pale, drab color palette. And that moose, this Americana, 1954. You heard that music. It reminds me of Stanley Kubrick, The Shining or something. It's very evocative. It's very hilarious, I think, and dark. And you heard what I was talking about right there. The character was very interesting to me. It's taken from a real-life guy named Walter Freeman. My name is Wallace Fiennes in this. Walter Freeman was the guy who pioneered lobotomy in America in the 40s and 50s. He did President Kennedy's sister. You may have read about that or seen documentaries about that, with tragic results. Didn't go well. And then this is before talk therapy and drugs, and the asylums were full in real life and full of violent people, and he thought he could do something. But like he says in that scene, he had a grandfather. The real guy had a grandfather who was a kind of famous. He's not kidding. It seems like he's kidding because he's drunk. He's always drunk when he's not working. This guy, but to let off steam, and he's got a complicated inner life, but. At this point, because they're throwing him out of one hospital after another, really, because the lobotomy has fallen on hard times. And he, like Willie Loman, is going, I was right. And he's got this kid taking pictures of him, Anyway, he's got an American ailment, a narcissistic disease of some kind that has spread. And, of course, he has been... in the mode of the American huckster, snake oil sales, and at this point, kind of fast food version of lobotomy. He was the real guy. In fact, he wasn't a surgeon, but he had a surgeon. He kind of mapped the brain. But like I said, wait, I'm interrupting myself. He wanted to, because my brain is on fire and I want to tell you many things at once. The real guy had a grandfather who was a famous surgeon. So he wanted to make a mark for himself and plant his flag and kind of be somebody, but also maybe help these people who were in institutions. But that was part of the thing. But then I was going to tell you, I was right in the middle of telling you, oh, yes. So he had this surgeon that he jettisoned, and he said, I can do this myself, kind of fast food style. And he found some ice picks in his kitchen. He said, they don't have to cut through the brain. The skull, I can go right in through the eyeball, and I'm going to call it a transorbital lobotomy. And he did, sure enough. And he did some windshield wiping like that with these sticks that he made. And, some people were hemorrhaged and killed by it. Some people, and they started to do it on, like in the 50s, as you can imagine, women, wives who they imagined were misbehaving and didn't exactly fulfill their traditional roles the way they thought they should be doing, on kids, sometimes young, with some, unusual verve of one kind or another. That's what happened.
What did you learn about mental health in the process of making this film? Because I'm thinking, just in looking this guy up, like, there has to be so much going on around him in that conversation. Especially because, in the movie, he's sort of dealing with, it's starting to look unfavorable. It's starting to look like this isn't going to turn him into the hero that he thought it would.
Well, just like in our world now, there are those people who want to hang on to traditional, roles and imagine even a time like this and romanticize it in a nostalgic way. But it wasn't great for everybody, and our movie sort of de-romanticizes a time like this, and old masculine roles, speaking of which, from which he's burdened, and a couple of other characters, and all the men drink and are kind of trying to, drown themselves in the, and relieve themselves from the burden of this masculine, old-fashioned role. We still find ourselves in the throes of, violent death throes of that kind of old and wicked idea. Mental illness comes in all sorts of packages. As a species, one could imagine that we could use a little, aspiration toward health and reality. And one thing that this movie deals with is storytelling and fairy tales and mythology, and American mythology, whereby a mountain, for instance, can represent a utopia that will solve everything.
Right.
But it's just made up. It's just invented nonsense. And health, and mental health, perhaps, includes divesting ourselves from that kind of thing and getting our fingertips on reality. I'm just suggesting. Thank you. That's our show. Drive safely.
There are a lot of things that I feel like with you, it's sort of like you never really know what Jeff Goldblum's going to be up to. You have varied interests, and you seem to be all over the place. But if you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Uh-oh.
Is uh-oh one?
What?
No, I'm just wondering.
Chunky, delicious. Those are 2 already. I don't know. What would I really describe myself? I don't know. Student. Interested. Open.
There we go. Student, interested, open. All of those are about learning, which I love.
Yes.
Which I love, because you are somebody who loves to learn, and you're very
I do love learning. In fact, I found a book while I was shooting this thing called Fantasyland, or How America Went Haywire by Kurt Anderson, which I highly recommend. And right now, I'm reading 3 books. I just finished the 2 of this trilogy by Yuval Harari. I'm sure you know him. He's quite popular. He wrote Sapiens and Homo Deus, and the one I'm reading now that I'm into is called 21 Answers for the 21st Century. Ooh, really good, and not entirely unrelated to what we're talking about in this movie, in a very abstract and poetical way in this case, yeah. But it's beautiful books.
I love that. I love books that sort of explain or speak to the culture, especially the culture around things like mental health or around things like humanity and how we relate to each other. I love that. And you've been a part of very many movies that could be considered cultural touchstones. Yeah. The Big Chill, Jurassic Park, Independence Day, The Fly. But those are very popular movies that people are always going to be watching and probably always asking you about. Can I ask, what do people mention the most when they meet you?
Well, different people. You know, I've done a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've been working. I've been uncommonly lucky. I was passionate about doing it from the very start. And I'll be darned if I haven't worked, you know, continually for a long time now. So I've done a bunch of things and worked with a lot of good people. There are other good people who work all the time.
Yes.
Have done a lot, but never get a chance to be in really interesting movies and work with good people. So I've been very, very lucky, and I've gotten a chance to do a variety of things that allow me to keep getting better, because I am a kind of humble student, and I feel like I'm on the threshold of doing better things. But the thing that people ask, having said that, you know, so people say, hey, I'll bet nobody ever tells you this, and then they mention something. But, you know, the ones that people all, you know, have seen mostly, and so that I mostly hear about, are, you know, the dinosaur movies, you know, Jurassic Park, and which I loved, you know, and then I had a little part in that last one, that Jurassic World movie, and they're making another one, a third in that trilogy, by the way, a Jurassic World something.
You gonna be in that?
I can't say anything. Quit trying to torture me and get things out of me. I'm full of secrets. I've been sworn to secrecy about many things. But I'm horrible at keeping secrets. As you can see, I'm kind of I don't play my cards close to my vest, as close as I should.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. You're also a talented jazz musician.
I don't know about that. I love jazz.
Yes.
I play with a good band.
You play with an excellent band, but I want to ask you, if you could come up with a dream band made up of people dead or alive, who would make up your dream band?
Well, that's a great question. You know, I'm a student of jazz, and through my activities and my band members, they're turning me on to people I'd never even heard of before. Wynton Kelly, Joe Bagg, our organist, said, you listen to this guy. And, you know, I pathetically hadn't listened to him much. But my dream band would be my band that I'm with now.
The band you have right now?
Yes.
So you don't
love
want
them.
Stan Getz?
Huh?
You don't want Stan Getz?
I want Stan Getz. I want Miles Davis. I want Thelonious Monk to play along with me. You know, I mean, there are so many spectacular people, my golly. Stan Getz, my brother had a record of Stan Getz and Astrid Gilberto, that one that came out, this in the late 60s, you know.
I have that album.
Oh, I love that, you know. And Stan Getz plays incredible. Supposedly he was a tough guy with his band.
Oh, yes.
Isn't that the story?
That is the story. Yeah. And there's some interviews where he talks about that later on.
Oh, really?
About how he had been with his band. They were very interesting.
I love to hear about,
absolutely.
you know, jazz guys and jazz.
Now let's talk about your style, because we have to.
Okay, but that jazz, before we leave, that jazz record is coming out on Decca October 11th, supposedly.
Yes.
Oh, I'll be back and we'll talk about that, but there are some surprises involved in that you may eat up with a spoon. I like it a lot. That music just kills me. I'm going to enjoy that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy that.
Okay,
very much looking forward to it. Okay. We're coming back to the style. I have to know, because one of the things that I want to know is who inspires the drip. I know that at one point, like you quoted some Cardi B as it came to your drip, and you just, you know, came through dripping, and you were talking about Cardi B on Instagram. And I was wondering, do you find her a style inspiration?
Cardi B? Mm-hmm. Yes. That's not Cardi B.
Look at this. That is not Cardi B, but look at this.
How about that? Did you see that wonderful fella in Crazy Rich Asians? Yeah, very handsome fella.
Where do you even get a green velvet suit?
Green velvet suit?
Yeah.
That was from, I think that one was from Saint Laurent, wasn't it? Yeah. That was from Saint Laurent. You like Saint Laurent?
Yeah. I'm a fan.
Well, you look at you.
I know.
You like clothing.
But ain't none of this Saint Laurent. Like, I'm trying to come up. I want to be on a Goldblum level when it comes to this.
I'm at no level. I've always liked clothes, in fact, of one kind or another. And then in being an actor, you know, I kind of got particularly interested in the creative aspects of, you know, finding the right shoe for the character and this and that. So, but I've made so many, you know, it's very difficult. And if it weren't for this stylist, you know, happy to say, but, you know, it's a luxurious and very wonderful position. But I got this stylist. I did this GQ photo shoot like about now 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And you can see me, and this is without coffee. I don't drink. I haven't had coffee for 5 years. I'm just kind of bushy-tailed and kind of gabby. Anyway, I like clothes, and they were unusually suited to this conversation, I started to like, hey, how about this? Should I see this? Because there's so much to see out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like buying paintings or buying a car. I wouldn't feel equipped to buy a car without some real, or a house without,
some real input.
Guidance. So, because I don't have time I don't go out to every store. I don't see every magazine. I kind of like what I like, but I would wake up in the middle of the night and go, I know what I need, that new T-shirt. I must have that. And I'd go and shop. So I always had a passion for it. So anyway, I'm talking to them. And Andrew Vitero is this guy who was on this team. And I said, I just wish at the end of these couple of days, I just wish one of you could come to my closet and tell me which jeans to throw out, and see if there's anything I can upgrade. And he said, I'll do that for you. We've been together ever since. And I don't have one piece of clothing that I at that point had in my closet. Everything's been replaced. Although we're very kind of minimal. We try to keep it, And then he kind of, we figure it out together, including movie parts, if he can, collaborate with some designers and this and that. So it's been very creative. He's great, Andrew Viteri. But so this is all. Who's working with along with this endeavor is Prada. And I met Mrs. Prada. I was invited to her party, for heaven's sakes, in Italy. You can imagine a dream, because she was so lovely and very impressive and wonderful. Anyway, they dressed me up for a thing like this now, and this is all Prada. Prada.
That's the drip. Prada, I love this. Okay, so it is no secret that you've got some fans, some thirsty fans on the internet, people who love your work, love you, love the drip, love everything.
What's dripping? What is drip exactly?
Does somebody else want to explain drip, or should I do it?
Hands.
Anybody?
Hands. I like this class.
Oh, wait, here we go.
I wish I had this class all week, yeah.
Here we go.
Sauce, like your essence.
Thanks.
Like
I appreciate it.
Your sauce.
My sauce, my essence.
Your essence.
I think I got it, my drip.
So the fans are very excited. We were wondering if you would take a moment to look into the camera and just...
Which camera?
What do you want?
This
camera right here.
This one there? Or is that mine? This one.
Oh, this one?
Come on.
Number one. Okay, so you're going to look into this one. Fantastic.
This has a big one on us. This is me, yeah?
Yes. And just whatever you want to say to these fans.
Really? Who seem to enjoy that? Well... Yes. Hello. Oh, sorry, I'm a little gassy from lunch. Hello, fan or two or three there. Hello, I love you. And, well, as I just explained, I like to dress up. What else can I say? Who is it out there? Who's out there? Who can we imagine is out there? Anyway, thanks for all your interest and attention. I'll be interested in your sweet comments on my hashtag Jeff Goldblum and my Instagram.
I love this.
And I'll see you at my jazz gig. If you come to Los Angeles, Rockwell, every week we have a residency there. Come to Rockwell, tap me on the shoulder, and we'll take a sweet picture together. And then we'll post it on Instagram.
That'll be fantastic. Thank you so much, Jeff. Oh, my gosh. We have a couple audience questions for you, so sit back and we're going to get the audience in on this.
This audience right here. Fantastic. Yes.
The first question is going to come from Carolyn.
Carolyn? How do you know all their names?
I don't, but they tell me.
Well, how'd you know this was Carolyn?
They tell me.
Oh, who told you?
The screen.
Oh, really? Oh, I see.
It tells me secrets.
Carolyn. Is it Caroline or Carolyn?
It's Caroline. Thank you for asking.
Caroline.
Yeah, exactly.
So nice to see you. What's your last name?
I don't want to. I'll tell you later.
You're undercover, really?
Incognito.
She's incognito.
Okay.
On the lam.
Okay, so my question for you is, does being a Libra factor into your fashion inspiration?
You are so sweet. Being a Libra, I was born October 22nd, on the last day of Libra before Scorpio. My answer to that is no, because all of astrology is utter flim-flamism. There's no credence to it whatsoever. It's fun. We could talk forever and have fun about this and that and my moon and your everything. But I don't believe, in my humble opinion, I'm sure wise minds disagree, but from all I read, There's absolutely no evidence for any valid astrology. Having said that, what sign are you?
We're also.
Oh, yes, I can tell. You're balanced. You're balanced. Anyway,
All right, we have another question from our audience member, Hannah.
What advice do you give to younger actors on set?
I would say to all the actors, look up your astrological sign, and whatever it says, go with that. No. I would say to young actors, who are these actors that I'm advising? What?
Just young ones.
Young ones.
That are coming up.
Young ones.
Young ones that are coming up. New actors. Baby actors.
Well, I would say a couple of things, I would say, first of all, to really do it at a high level, if you're meant for it, and you're only meant for it, you'll know if you're meant for it if you can't do anything else, if you're wildly passionate about it. And if you are, maybe you're talented, but you have to work hard. Is that what was that? What did I start to say? Yes, work hard. You have to work hard.
That's good.
You have to work hard. 40,000 hours. My teacher, Sanford Meisner, said it takes 20 years of continual work before you can even begin to call yourself an actor. And then a lifelong, to do it at a high level, and then a lifelong, course of getting better and better and better till you die. That's acting. On the other hand, and these days, you can be self-starting. You can do it. Get every script, every play that was written in America and others, whatever you like, read them. You can do that for a couple of years. Divvy them up with your friends and act. There's that, and you can write things and film yourself. You can make movies. There's just like music, just like jazz. There are avenues to go down that you can spend your lifetime. You have to find your avenue of interest. Don't copy anybody. You have to find your voice. But it's not so highfalutin after all. I know, craft. People, I studied with good people. I've been exposed to things. I taught for a couple of decades. Finally, don't let anybody fool you into thinking that it's so highfalutin. There are many nuances to do it at a high level, many nuances and aspects. But, after all, it's pretending. It's just pretending, and then you got to pretend good. That's kind of it. Just pretend good, and so start pretending if you want to. But like Stanislavski said, love the art in yourself, not yourself in art. Don't do it because you want to be famous or rich. Don't do that. Do it because there's something in you that you love that must get out. And it's this pretending. You like to pretend. Just like this director, Rick Alverson, is a real artist. He's not calculating or calculating. He doesn't want to position himself in some way to be something. He actually has dreams in himself, his own fevered things that he needs, personal things that he wants to say. Anyway, does that begin to address anything like that?
So.
Absolutely.
I think so.
All right.
I think so. Jeff, thank you so much for your
But if you're a Virgo, forget it.
Yeah.
Or you're a Sagittarius, you're probably wrong for it. I'm only kidding.
Jeff, thank you so much.
That's
for
it?
being here today.
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry.
No.
I'm so sorry. But we hope to have you back again.
I'm coming back.
That would be fantastic. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Look at this lovely audience. And thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly.